Hey guys, this is Jayce87 from the EFour forums. I also have an IG. Some of you guys might know me as a shiny Arceus. Just breaking out the English complete PSA 10 Gold Star set. Just making a quick video as I may be breaking up my set soon, and I realize I've never really done a video on all of the cards together. I just wanted kind of to do it for myself before I broke the set up and gave other people a chance to collect the whole set. When I did complete the set 2-3 years ago, I think I was the only other one besides King Pokemon Master on IG that had the set, so there were two of us, and I do believe a third one was completed shortly after, I think a few months later, and there might be a fourth one now, but I know for a fact that I think two are locked in with my completed set and King Pokemon Masters. I'm not sure if the third set has been broken up or if there's a fourth set. So let me just run through all the cards really quick. First card is here's PSA 10 Gold Star Mudkip from the TRR Team Rocket Return set. We've got the infamous Torchic. There's an auction going on right now. It's May 30th, 2020. I believe it's in excess of 10K USD. When I purchased my Torchic a couple of years ago, it was less than quadruple that amount. So I'm not sure if that bid is going to end up legit, if somebody actually wants to pay that much. But this is a low pop 15 card, according to the PSA pop report. When I got mine, I believe there were only 8. So regardless, it is the most exclusive, I would say, Gold Star in terms of pop numbers. It's going to be a really hard roadblock for a lot of people going for the full PSA 10 set. It's a very popular target for PSA 9 regrades, as all Gold Stars are, even though I would say hardly anybody talks about Gold Star regrading. It's pretty prevalent in the last couple of years. So I'm not sure how accurate that Pop 15 PSA 10 report actually is from Pop 9 regrades, or I'm sorry, PSA 9 regrades. But in any case, it's still a really, really rare and valuable card. All right. Next, we've got Trico. Then we're moving on to the X-Deoxys set. Arguably the most popular and rarest Gold Star trio, Latias, and Rayquaza. This is probably my favorite. Latias is my favorite Gold Star card. Just insane hollow bleed. Latias looks really nice and obviously very low pop. It's a good looking set, good looking card. Next up, we've got Latios. Same thing. Just hollow bleed on the card. Wonderful artwork. Really rare, low pop. PSA 10. Then we've got the king of Gold Stars himself, Rayquaza. And as of today, there has been, I think, a couple of sales in excess of 15K. So I know the PWCC auction went for 19K. That beat the previous records. I believe when I acquired my first PSA 10 Rayquaza 3 or 4 years ago, I paid like less than $2,000 for it. And then I set the record for the highest Gold Star sale with 7,000 for one of my Rayquazas. I've actually had 4 PSA 10s come through my hands over the years. This one just has a really nice hollow swirl on the top right. It's the only one I've seen to have the swirl in the few that I've had. Just a beautiful artwork. It's going to remain the king of Gold Star cards for quite a long time, I would imagine. so we've got Ante from the X Unseen Forces set, part of the legendary dog trio. For those that are collecting gold stars, you know the story. Sheets of the dog trio were obtained, I think, illegally, and so the market is quite saturated with these cards. The legendary dog trio, you're not going to find these appreciate in value or have some astronomical price increases as you would the other gold star cards. All right, so that's Ante. Got Raikou. And Suicune. All right, so moving on, got the Delta species set. Here's Groudon, more of a kind of low mid-tier gold star card. Not going to be as expensive as some of the more popular Pokemon, but nonetheless, availability is usually pretty high, and prices are usually fairly stable for this card, so a slower gradual increase as opposed to pretty higher increases for a lot of the other popular gold star cards. We got Kyogre in that same group. All right. Then we've got Metagross here. I actually graded this 10 myself. So Metagross is probably the more expensive one of the 3 Delta species cards. And depending on just like the timing, there's a few on the market, and sometimes there's just flat out none. I know that sounds kind of simple, but I've seen Metagross actually have some bigger price fluctuations than the other Delta species cards in general. It does have a lower pop. It is somehow a lot harder to grade than the other two. From my personal experience, Metagross is probably the harder one to find, and its price can vary quite a bit. And then next we've got the legendary Regis. And you're gonna see some scratches on the video because these are in plastic sleeves and inside their PSA cases, obviously. So a lot of the scratches are going to be on the outside that are being reflected. And Registeel, last but not least. All right. And up next we've got Celebi from Crystal Guardians, one of the most beautiful Celebi cards in my opinion. Again, kind of in that same group as Groudon and Kyogre and Metagross. Usually not super scarce. Not going to climb up in price as significantly as a lot of more popular Gold Star cards, but nonetheless is seeing a gradual increase. And then the other Crystal Guardians Gold Star would be Alakazam. Right, then we're on to the Holon Phantom set, and I have to say Gold Star Gyarados is probably one of my favorites, along with the Neo Shining Gyarados. Excuse me. It's just really hard to beat a red Gyarados. Just beautiful artwork all around. It's kind of an interesting card. Gyarados is kind of like Metagross in a lot of respects. The pop isn't actually that high. I believe it's still sub 50 or sub 40. I know that when I got my Gyarados, it was into 20s, mid-20s, low 20s maybe. And so again, it's prone to the same kind of like price fluctuations, if you will. There might be a few on the market and you'll see a lot lower prices, and then sometimes it'll dry up depending on the time of the year, and you'll see somebody charge a premium, and then somebody will pay it, and the market will kind of reset at that last rate. And that's probably due to the popularity of Gyarados. My opinion, probably the best looking Holon Phantoms Gold Star card. Okay, Mewtwo up next. Not much to say about Mewtwo. Beautiful artwork. Not going to be as popular in my opinion as Gyarados, or at least hard to acquire. I do have to say the PSA 9s for these cards are quite high as well. So for those not necessarily going for 10s, you have a really decent time getting a hold of these cards. Then last but not least, from Holon Phantoms is Pikachu. Probably my favorite Pikachu card. Next, we've got Dragon Frontiers. And of course, with Dragon Frontiers, we have the mighty Charizard. Charizard, some people think should be, or would be the most expensive Gold Star card just due to Charizard's popularity. However, that's always been held by Rayquaza. But from my experience, Charizard is never usually too far behind. So if Rayquaza sold for 19K last week via PWCC auction, you'll probably find Charizard trailing along around the 15K range, maybe even higher now. But again, it's going to be trading blows with the Rayquaza for years to come for the number 1 and 2 top Gold Star spot. Here we've got Gold Star Mew. Beautiful artwork. Not usually a rare, not too scarce of a card to get a hold of, even a PSA 10. But this one is prone to having like a line, just like an inherent card error, go across it. It can still grade a 10. But I know for some people, kind of takes away from the aesthetic. So just be aware of that for Mew in particular. Okay, and then next up we got the Evolution's Last. This is PSA 10 Gold Star Flareon from Power Keepers. Jolteon. And Vaporeon is last from Power Keepers. All right, so that brings us to the last two. A very well-known pair. We'll start with Gold Star Espeon first from the Pop Series 5 card packs. So these go for a significant amount due to the low pops. And also due to the low availability of the Pop Series 5 packs. As you know, the Japanese versions of Espeon and Umbreon Gold Stars are actually hollow. The English versions are not, which is good and bad. Good in that you could not weigh Pop Series 5 packs to get hollows. So that really did truly make it random for a lot of people buying up a ton of Pop Series 5 packs. I happen to grade 2 of these Espeons myself. But again, just very sought after, always popular Espeon and Umbreon. In my experience, I never had any issues tracking these two Pop Series 5 Gold Stars down. It always came down to the heavy premium that sellers were charging, and rightfully so. And that's honestly still true today. There's quite a few auctions up with really, really high price ranges for these two. And again, deservedly so. And as we were just talking about, the second of the pair, Gold Star Umbreon. Graded this one myself as well. All right, and that's it. These are the 27 English PSA 10 Gold Star cards. And really, I just wanted to make this video because, again, Gold Stars are seeing kind of somewhat of a bubble, but honestly, it may just be that gradual price increase that tends to happen with these cards. They're always popular, always sought after. Really one of the standout sets outside of WotC First Edition, in my opinion. And I really just never really appreciated these cards to the degree that I made any lengthy videos on them. So I kind of just wanted to make one for myself and just kind of put out there for whoever was interested in seeing these, as I may potentially be breaking the setup. The journey was really, really crazy. It took about 7 years to collect all these. Just a lot of time, energy, effort, and money. And kind of just to see the phenomenon of the growth of popularity and price increase of these cards has just been insane. I'm really, really glad that these are as popular as they are and as expensive and rare as they are still, even though we're seeing significant rises in some of the pop reports of some cards. I think they're still going to be a staple of the hobby, and in my opinion, there's really no set that I would rather own as a collector outside of WotC First Edition. So really glad that I was able to have a second completed set. And again, there might be a third or fourth completed set at the time of this video. But for now, I just wanted to document this, and in case that I do break up the set relatively soon. All right, thanks everyone for watching. If you have any specific questions on the Gold Stars in particular, feel free to message me on Instagram. Again, that's Shiny Arceus, _Shiny_Arceus. And I can also be found on the EFour Pro Boards forums under Jayce87. All right, take care, guys.